Horror films are often aimed to evoke viewers a nightmare. It does not need a high rating, even with mildly eerie soundtrack, and a few well-placed jump scares are enough for most of us to crack.
I got you.
Thanks to the flawless internet speed and various internet streaming apps, now we can enjoy the best movies anywhere on our mobile screens free of ads. Are you a fan of horror movies? Then welcome to our top 10 list of latest horror movies available to watch online India. Number 10. Escape Room. 6 strangers are given mysterious black boxes with tickets to an immersive escape room for a chance to win tons of money. Being locked in several rooms with extreme conditions, they discover the secrets behind the escape room and must fight to survive and to find a way out.
Well, that's creepy as hell.
If you've ever been looking for a PG-13 Saw movie, then Escape Room might just be the film for you. The movie is fun as you're watching it, as long as you accept that little will make sense. The fun doesn't come from the puzzles, but more what the rooms will do next. Once it extends beyond the rooms and tries building a mythology and a conspiracy behind the rooms, that's where Escape Room starts to fall apart.
What's wrong with you? That was real!
Number 9. Hari. On a rainy day, Arnab and his parents are traveling in a car after meeting Piyali regarding his marriage. Their car hits a strange-looking old woman who dies on the spot. Arnab and cops locates her house where they meets Roxana, a mysterious girl who lives in a hut outside a village with a few dogs and shackled to a pole with metal chains. After performing last rites of her mother, Arnab leaves Roxana back to her house. But Professor Qasim Ali comes to capture her with his men who know about her identity. But she manages to escape and reach Arnab's place, who shelters her not knowing her true identity. Hari is different from other Bollywood horror films. The themes of good versus evil and love may limit this film's appeal to loyal viewer. Number 8. Annihilation. Leena is a 7-year army vet herself, and her current career as a biologist doesn't provide any hint of how tough and ruthless she can be in a combat situation. After the missing of her husband, she puts her name forward for an expedition into an environmental disaster zone, and the team is made up of the biologist, an anthropologist, a psychologist, a surveyor, and a linguist. But they does not find what they are expecting.
Anything interesting in there?
No.
Annihilation is not an easy film to discuss. It's a movie that will have a different meaning to different viewers who are willing to engage with it. It's about self-destruction, evolution, biology, codependence, and that which scares us the most is we can no longer trust our own bodies. Annihilation is a dark and bizarrely beautiful sci-fi masterpiece. 7. Game Over. Swapna is a talented game designer, but she also suffers from post-traumatic stress and fear of dark. Her nyctophobia is first triggered by a personal tragedy that happened just a year ago, and she is still unable to come from it. The only thing that keeps her going is her love for gaming, but her life changes after she finds out that the ink which was used to make the tattoo on her wrist contains a stranger girl's ash. The movie takes a little longer to establish the plot than we would like, but the editing makes it racy, and everything falls into places in the climax. There are many layers to the film, both psychological and paranormal, which is not only imaginative and technically fabulous but also haunting. By enriching with sub-genres and technical perfection, the film offers nail-biting as well as heart-rending moments. Number 6. Suspiria. Susie Bannion is a young American ballerina who travels to Berlin to study dancing at the Marcos Tanz Company, one of the world's most renowned schools under Madame Blanc's management. On her very first day, one of the students who had been recently expelled from the school is murdered. As this appalling happening does not seem to be an isolated occurrence, the brilliant new student soon begins to suspect that the school might be involved in the homicide. Her mistrust heightens when Sarah, one of the girls of the school, tells her that Pat, before being killed, confided to her that she knew and guarded a terrifying dark secret. Suspiria is a remake of the classic 1977 horror movie, and it is filled with extreme blood, gore and lots of scary stuffs. Number 5. Pet Sematary. Dr. Louis Creed and his wife Rachel relocates from Boston to rural Maine with their 2 young children. The couple soon discover a mysterious pet's burial ground hidden deep in the woods near their new home, but beyond that there lies something far more sinister. After the tragedy of their cat being killed by a truck, Louis resorts to burying it in the mysterious pet cemetery. His actions set off a dangerous chain reaction that unleashes an unfathomable evil with horrific consequences.
That cat was dead.
It brings things back.
It is based on the 1983 novel Pet Sematary by Stephen King. The film moves fast and giving us little time to wallow in the horrible inexorability of the story. The new adaptation has the potential to be far more impactful, but not explored to its full potential. Pet Sematary is creepy and is good for a few scares. Number 4. Annabelle Comes Home. This movie is the third installment in the Annabelle series and the seventh installment in the Conjuring Universe franchise. Determined to keep Annabelle from wreaking more havoc, demonologists Ed and Lorraine Warren bring the possessed doll to the locked artifacts room in their home, placing her safely behind sacred glass and enlisting a priest's holy blessing. But an unholy night of horror awaits as Annabelle awakens the evil spirits in the room, who all set their sights on a new target, the Warrens' 10-year-old daughter, Judy, and her friends. The movie is well made and has plenty of intense scares. You can expect lots of scary ghosts, demons, and monsters, as well as very spooky sounds and music in this movie. Number 3. It. Chapter 2. It has been 27 years since the Losers Club defeated the evil Pennywise and saved the cursed town of Derry. Now adults, the childhood friends are pursuing their life in different places, except Mike Hanlon. But when people start disappearing, Mike Hanlon calls the others home for one final stand.
We didn't stop it.
Damaged by scars from the past, the United Losers must conquer their deepest fears to destroy the shape-shifting Pennywise. This nearly 3-hour sequel has well-rounded, appealing characters and even some laughs, but it lacks the nerve-rattling scares and appealing simplicity of its 2017 predecessor. The movie stumbles a bit at the start, but then the long sequences of reuniting, balking at danger, and experiencing flashbacks and Pennywise attacks actually succeed at making our lovable losers come together more like a family. So in short, Chapter 2 is almost as scary as Chapter 1 and definitely worth a watch.
Hello.
Number 2. Tumbad. The story begins in 1918 on the outskirts of a village Tumbad where it rains all year round. It is an accursed land because it holds a temple to an accursed god named Haskell. A young boy Vinayak Rao is affected by a personal tragedy, and his encounter with a wretched old lady who knows of a buried treasure sets him on a path to greed. He grows up to explore the accursed god and his gold medallions. Tumbad is a moody and atmospheric film, and it portraits how a greedy human can be a lot more malicious than a cursed supernatural entity. Ideas like that make Tumbad a real mind-bender, and the film's top-notch production design makes it a movie that truly reinvents the horror genre for Indian cinema. Number 1. A Quiet Place. On a devastated Earth overrun by lethal predators of possible extraterrestrial origin, two parents Evelyn and Lee are determined to find ways to protect their children while desperately searching for a way to fight back. They are living in a large farmhouse surrounded by a dense forest where a mysterious blind creature roams around. Hearing sounds make the creatures into a murderous rampage, and they are still alive only because of the precautions they've taken. This movie portraits how they survive from this mysterious creature. Even the slightest of sounds can be deadly. A Quiet Place is virtually silent with barely 10 lines between the four actors, and they convey raw emotions with just their faces. Although slow-paced initially, this is a deliberate screenplay decision which then leads up to a suspenseful second half. A Quiet Place can only be appreciated in silence with the least amount of conversation during its runtime, and we recommend to watch this movie alone. So do you agree with our picks? Leave a comment below. Please like the video and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified with our latest videos.